Hi tarot friends, this is Ultraviolet Morgan, and I'm going to try my darndest to do a really quickish flip through of the Wild Unknown Archetype deck and guidebook by Kim Crone. I'm not really going to look through the guidebook too much, but I have already done this, and I'm going to try to do it all in one take, just for the heck of it. This is the outer sleeve. It slides off, then you get this gorgeous box, which is got a magnetic closure, opens like such, and has it makes a great backdrop. Then you pull out the book, the Archetype Guidebook by Kim Crone. There's quite a bit of information that looks like it will be really interesting and useful, in addition to descriptions for each of the cards. And then underneath the guidebook, you will find this little container for the cards, which are round, and it resembles a hat box, and there is a string that will help you to pull it apart. And I've already opened everything, so I'm just showing you because the presentation is really beautiful. Everything that comes with it is really quite beautiful. And then you have the cards. So the cards themselves are really quite good. They're decently thick. They're not flimsy. They're not overly thick. They're smooth, and they look like a diamond on the back. So the first archetype that we are introduced to is the mother, which is the perfect place to start because it's the first archetype that we're introduced to when we incarnate on this earth. The mother is the first thing that we know. We know our mothers because we grow inside of her. She is our home. She's our very first home on the earthly realm. Then we have the father. So this is the father archetype. And so just showing them side by side, the mother and then the father. And the father shows sort of the light and dark, day and night. The shorter cycles. The mother has the longer cycle, the monthly cycles, the 9-month cycles. Then we have the starborn, which I would assume would represent that which is become incarnated, the born, the starborn. So then we have the eternal child. I really like this. These hands and the colors and the concept of the eternal child. And then we have the orphan, which, as I've said before, the orphan archetype is important to so many of our legends and stories. Harry Potter is orphaned. Or if they're not orphaned, then they're separated. They think they're orphaned. They're separated from their biological families. They're separated from their source. Hercules, is raised by humans and doesn't know who his divine father is. Superman is raised by people from another planet, or he doesn't know he's from another planet. So, and Superman, of course, really is orphaned, but since his whole planet exploded, but they're separated. So the orphan, I think, represents our separation, even if we're not literally orphaned. And then you have the snake. And, I just kind of thought of this. But, yeah, we were born, and then we're children or whatever, and then we learn that we're separate from our parents. And I think we feel orphaned in a way, even if we're not. And then as we grow, we have to separate more and more. And so the snake could almost sort of represent the umbilical cord being cut. I've seen the snake in here a few times where I could see that it might represent an umbilical cord in some sense. Then we have the mentor card, which is really beautiful, and I like that. And this is going to be a quicker walkthrough, so I'm not going to go into all my thoughts on it. I'm really just going to show the cards and some of my thoughts. This is the Poet, and this one is really beautiful and powerful to me. I really, really like the feeling of this card, the Poet. So then the next card we have is the Maiden, and the Maiden card has a lot of feminine imagery. And first here I thought of, for example, the vulva, the opening, and then you can also think of the Vesica Pisces, but then it also looks sort of like a shell. So even the symbols are kind of layered and can be several other symbols. We have the Hunter. This is an interesting card. I'm really interested to see where that's going with the Hunter. What's the Hunter archetype? Then we get the Warrior archetype. And this Warrior archetype, again, has a lot of feminine symbology. So I really like that. I really feel connected with that Warrior archetype right off the bat. And then we have the Queen. This one is a mystery to me. This one just doesn't. Nothing says Queen in this card, so, which isn't to say that it's bad. It's just, to me, my first impression is nothing says Queen. Then we have the King, and we have the King and the Queen, so now we have the round energy, and here we have the radiating energy. There's also the round in the center of the hand, but the fingers also point out. Then we have the Crone, and I really adore this, and I cannot wait to work with the Crone. And I am probably getting closer to Crone years myself, although I've kind of held it off because I have a child that's only 5 years old, so it keeps me right in the mother phase. The Judge. This is interesting. There's an open hand. There's kind of a come to me and a stop. And so the Judge card for me so far seems to represent boundaries. Seems to represent what you do and don't want in your life, and seems to represent not as much the concept of judgment as the concept of, I said it so many times and I can't even remember it, discernment. And these things, I don't know what these are. I don't know what they are. An eye and a skull. Okay. The Shapeshifter, I'm not crazy about this card. I am not crazy about this card. I'm going to go downward because it gives me better light. So there is a tiger, which I love tigers. And then there's this, which I'm not even going to say. If you haven't seen the other ones, you decide what you think that is. Leave a comment below. Let me know. What do you think that looks like? Because it's odd. I like the concept of the Shapeshifter, but not that card. It's unsettling. It unsettles me. Maybe it's supposed to. Who knows? The Shaman. So here we have sort of astral plane kind of a thing. And again, this feminine snake. As I've said before, if you're afraid of snakes, get over it. The Lover. Not the lovers, just the lover. And I think, you know, it's the archetype of the lover within us. I have the Carolyn Miss archetypes, and so for her, when she's talking about archetypes, she is talking about our archetypes, our inner archetypes, and our sort of inner map to our inner world. So, yeah, I'm thinking of the Lover in terms of being an archetype within us. The Siren is an archetype that I adore. I love that whole femme fatale thing. I don't really exactly get everything that's happening in this imagery, but I do love it. The Animal. I have this eye. This is mysterious in its way. I like it, but I don't really know where we're going with it. Here is the Pilgrim. And I don't care for this card all that much, but there's so many things going on. And I can see different things every time I look at it. So one of these days I'm going to look at it and it's going to click. It's going to click and I'm going to be like, whoa, this is so deep. This is my favorite card in the whole deck. Or maybe it won't, I don't know. I had to get a drink. My throat's dry, man. Probably from burning that black sage. It's not always... It seems like a good idea, but it almost never is. The Mystic. I love this card. This is a moth. This is beautiful. This is all the buttons, all the levels of intensity for me. Okay. The Creator. I love this. Not as much as the Mystic. I just want to clarify. Not as much as the Mystic. The Destroyer. Yes. Like, such a needful card. The Destroyer. And my goddess is Kali, and she is often seen as a destroyer, even though she didn't. She stopped. But she can be a destroyer. She can be a destroyer of things that we don't need, things that are false, things that are harmful to us. Those demons that she just got rid of. This one is super, like, yeah, I really like this one. This is Stainer. I feel like it's often ignored. It's not as glamorous as the Creator. It's not as glamorous as the Destroyer. But you bring something into being, and then you need to sustain it. And it's the most important job. But it's just not glamorous, and it's just not given. It's steady, faithful, boring, mundane, day after day, routines that keep us going, that keep things sustained. So, you know, the Sustainer is so highly overlooked. The Healer, I cannot wait to work with this card. I love it. I love the imagery of it. I love the 3 heads on the snake. The comic, this is funny. Like, part of me wants to not like it and be like, this just doesn't go with the other cards. But it's the comic, and it makes me laugh, and it's funny every time. The Unseen. I feel like this is so deep. Yeah, the Unseen. I feel like this is just going to be a super important card to work with. And this grainy eye. I love the imagery on it. The Shadow. Yeah. The Shadow card doesn't do much for me. The Self. The Self feels more like a shadow card to me. That one I'm really kind of interested in. The One. This one's so minimalist. But I'm interested to see where that's going, for sure. MySpace me, for sure. You remember MySpace, and you remember that. The Heart. This is still Hallmark movie-ish to me. I don't know if that's good or bad. I have not decided. The Cave. Looking out from this dark place. This would probably be better as a shadow. The Shadow than the Shadow. The Shadow doesn't do anything for me. The Mountain. This one's interesting. There's so many mountains. There's so many mythologies and folklore and different things that have to do with a mountain or mountains. Like, you can go anywhere with this. I was earlier thinking about the Carpathian Mountains, the Ozark Mountains, the Rocky Mountains. They're all very different. They all have their own history, their own mythology, their own story, their own archetypes. The River. I think that's a song by one of my favorite actresses, whose name I just can't even think of. Red hair, beautiful, brassy. She was in the First Wives Club movie. You know her name, okay? I know you're yelling at me, so just put it down in the comments below. Who sings The River? Or, well, maybe she sings The Rose. She definitely sings The Rose, and there may be no song called The River. Okay, whatever. Then we have The Ocean. I like the river better than the ocean. I mean, in real life, I like them both, but I don't know. That ocean card is weird to me. The forest card, I like this. This is beautiful. I love the coloring. I love the coloration, and everything about this is really beautiful. The desert, this is weird because, like, I don't know. To me, if it was, there's nothing. That's not, now we're talking about the archetype of the desert. Because in real life, there's lots of things in the desert. The desert isn't, like, nothingness like that. But maybe archetypally, I don't know. The bridge. A bridge over troubled water. A bridge making connections. So, yeah. There's a rainbow bridge, and then you see the reflection of the rainbow. The temple. This one, oh, I just dropped a whole bunch of them. This one is really, I love this one. Like, I feel really drawn to that, the temple. The dead end is really intense, too, and just a little scary, horror story-ish. Wow, like, there's a circle right here, and I just saw, like, a star, like a pentagram right there. The circle's on my camera. It's just showing where the focus is, and I just moved it. But, yeah. The bramble of branches, the dead end. You can go no further. 10 of wands. Like, you're done. 10 of swords also. The village, this one doesn't do anything for me. The empty room, this one feels really deep and like so much more than just what it is. Like, this one feels like there's a lot to dig, a lot to. The castle, that one doesn't do much for me. Maybe it does for you. Maybe it's like your favorite card. I don't know. Does anybody love the castle? Leave a comment below if you love the castle card. That box. This one. I love it. I just love it. Okay? The threshold. This is exciting. Stepping over the threshold. Scary. Leap of faith. The womb. This one, I love the colors. It's really intense. And yeah. The storm. There's that fire or thunder. Yeah. The storm's inside of us. The underworld. I can't wait to work with that one. I'm going to have to separate these out. The fault line, that one feels really, really, really important to me. Really, like, that one feels a lot. Like the empty room and the fault line are just, like, really calling out to me. The bardo, I have no idea what that is, but I do like that. It's the imagery of it. It's gorgeous. The flame, that's really beautiful. The flame, the light in the darkness. The tear, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a tear. It feels really heavy. This is interesting. The riddle. Yeah, still makes me think of Tom Riddle. Especially with a snaky kind of thing. But then this is kind of like a triquetra or like a Celtic knot. Kind of interesting. Lots of different things in there. The vow. That feels properly weighty. The vision. This one really, I like it a lot. And, I mean, it doesn't call to me like some of the other ones do, but I think it's a good, yeah, I want to dig into that one. The gem. I don't know how I feel about that gem. Then we have the ring, which doesn't even look like a ring to me, so that one doesn't do a lot for me. This is a hit or miss kind of deck, but the nectar, this one feels intense. This one feels important. This one has a pull for me. This one has gravity. This is the nectar. The medallion, meh. I like medallions, and I don't know why this one just doesn't do anything for me. The kiss. This one's the mysterious one because there's no kiss. A lot of these just don't show what they say, which isn't bad or wrong. It's just, I'm just saying. You see hands, you see a moon, and you can see sort of an eye. They kiss. Kind of makes me wonder. The mask. Yeah. That's pretty good. The sword. This one, like, I didn't see the sword at first. I thought, wow, that's the storm. But, yeah, there's the sword. This one's really kind of cool. Yeah, I'm interested in this one. The venom. Meh. The offering. This gives me very, like, vampire-y. Would you offer your throat to the wolf with the red roses? Yes. I bet you say that to all the boys. The prayer. This isn't a middle of the road one. Like, maybe not. The seed is okay. It's alright. I just feel like there. The stone gives me Harry Potter vibes. What can I say? The mirror gives me Superman vibes. The vessel. This one gives me divine feminine vibes. I want to look into that one some more. The thread. This one is really interesting to me. The thread, like the threads of fate. Now we're moving into this whole set of cards has where you can turn it. This is Eros. And it turns. If you look at it, it's a set of lips with a diamond, holding a diamond. Then we have Agape. Turn, 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 turn. Then we have Thanatos. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Then we have Apocalypsis. And this one I really like. It's like every other one. I really like that. I don't care about that one. Gnosis. Gnosis is good. That's a card I'm interested in. Kairos. I don't know what that means, so I'm kind of interested because I'll learn something new. Alethea. So we have a dark rose and a light rose. That's kind of cool, like intense and interesting. And then we have this Anima Mundi. So this is a real mystery to me. I don't know. I mean, I've heard of Anima Mundi before. I don't know anything about it enough to think much. Ooh. But I can see things sort of coming to the surface. I'm not even going to point them out. Things in this image are just floating to the surface. I feel like this is going to be a really interesting deck to work with. So that's the quick flip through, y'all. If you want the longer, where I say more about them, I have it. It's my phone broke it up into several different videos, but I wanted to try and see if I could get one where I could get them all in one video, so you didn't have to necessarily go through all those videos. But if you want to hear all my thoughts, you'll have to go through all those videos. So leave a comment. Tell me what you thought. And if you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe and then hit the bell. And definitely let's chat down below. Until next time, to all my tarot friends, be well. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.